Good evening. This series of videos that I'm creating is about incorporating role-playing games into paganism. Now, we're not talking about making a pagan-ruled world and that's what we do our things in, although you can do it. What this is about is there are certain things about role-playing that I loved, and I can see them kind of affecting how I live my path. Now, when I say a role-playing game, I'm not talking about the latest CD-ROM and all that. I am talking about the old book role-playing games. This series right here is called Rolemaster. This is another generic you create a world. You can create any world you want. It's generic. It tells you, gives you all these guidelines where you can create your own world, add whatever type of sentient beings you want in there. It's a real good system. But it also has all these different professions, all these different skills, all these different spells. There is so much in this gaming system. I mean, there's a lot of books involved. And applying this to ourselves, I think, would help a great deal. This video is about a self-assessment, about figuring out who you are right now and who you want to be a year from now, or 5 years from now, 10 years from now. What this works on is building a character sheet for yourself. This is kind of like this sheet right here, where you got to put down, the basics here: name, race, height, weight, hair, eye color, age, gender, profession. Now we'll start with profession. When we view ourselves in our pagan world, we are not just one thing. I see a lot of people list themselves as a priest or a priestess, but we're more than that. You see, in my pagan world, I am a teacher. I am also a warrior. I am a crafter. I'm a priest. I'm so many different things. I'm not just one thing. And so we need to put down all our different professions, or how we view ourselves in our pagan world. Okay? Now, in this book, we also have a lot of stats. In this particular gaming system, there's constitution, this is how hardy you are. Agility, that's self-explanatory, how nimble are you. Self-discipline, how well are you able to focus on achieving your goals? Okay. Memory, how well you remember stuff. Reasoning, are you somebody that can sit down and think things out, or are you going to fly off the handle? Okay. Strength, this is overall strength, not just how much you can deadlift. Quickness is your speed. Presence, do you have a demanding presence? Empathy, how well you get to contact with the world. And intuition, do you have this innate ability to catch glimpses of future events, past events, different locales? All these are different things. Now, I'm not asking you to roll the dice on this, no. On a scale of 1 to 100, 1 being, oh my gosh, you suck, to 100, you're awesome, kind of give an idea what you present yourself as. Okay? On this one, they also ask, what languages you speak. I speak English, obviously. I took 2 years of Spanish in high school. I taught myself a little Russian, and I tried to teach myself a little Gaelic. So I mean, I got different languages, and then you get to determine what your skill is. Now, the way I suggest doing this is on a scale of 1 to 20. Well, actually 0 to 20, because 0 means you don't know it. It's completely foreign to you. But 1 meaning that you have tinkered with it. 20 being you're awesome. You are fluent. You are a master of this task, skill, ability, however you want to do it. Okay? Then the next thing is about all your skills. Now, like I said, there are so many skills in this gaming system. It's awesome. Now, I got to find the particular book that has the listing of all these skills. But it is important to realize that we have so many more skills than what we actually give ourselves credit for. Because, I've made candles before. So I have some candle skills. Many of you know that I have recently bought a house. And so because I bought a house, I have been doing a lot, and I mean a lot, of remodeling the house. I am now experienced in building woodworking, plumbing, electrical work, working with trees, and we learn all these skills. I got some general skills in everything. I'm really not a master of any, and so I can't say that I am like a goldsmith, a silversmith, a shoemaker, a cobbler, But what I can say is that I can do certain things. And, like I said, scaling this to 1 to 20, so we get an idea of, what we can do. The purpose for this is so that when we, here it is, the reason why we want to do this is so we can get a general idea of who we are now. Some of these skills is like martial arts, some combat, but there's flora lore. Do you really know a lot about the various herbs? Or do you just have like, I know about these 6 or 7? Well, if you know about 6 or 7, you're probably like a skill rank 2. But if you spent enough time where you know pretty much everything in Cunningham's Book of Magical Herbs, you're 20. So this is something that we should learn. I mean, there's herding, horticulture, diplomacy. I mean, we talked about being leaders in pagan community. Well, diplomacy is an important skill. Are you able to sit down and try to work on a compromise with somebody, or are you going to make a demand? Well, if you're just out to make demands, well, your diplomacy skills suck. So, you would put yourself down low in diplomacy. But if you are able to, sit down and discuss and try to figure everything out, hey, you're pretty good at diplomacy. Rate yourself higher. You go through and you think about all these different skills, and you get yourself a comprehensive list, you should have at least 100 skills, and look through them. And then you think about what you listed as a profession. Do all these skills fit your professions? Is there something that you're missing? Then you got to decide, do I work on this? Obviously, if you feel that you're missing it, you should. Because, like on this one, they got the dancer, the scholar, the trader. These were non-magical professions. What they called semi-spell users are people that use their swords, weapons, along with magic fairly well. You got like your beastmaster, the dervish, paladins, warrior mage. But then you have people that were, it's actually the profession here, a witch, rune master, shaman. And, these various professions, it's what we can be. This is what we can aspire to be. Like I said, there were a total of 7 of these Rolemaster companions. They had various professions in them, and they had various fighting professions. They didn't just have warrior. Well, they had the rogue, the scout, the barbarian, the cavalier. So you don't just have to, I can fight. No, how you embrace yourselves. Because like the Vikings, they would be more of the warrior / barbarians because they were more outdoorsy. But if you were in a more, you tried to portray yourself as a more noble, more sophisticated person, you might want to consider yourself to be a paladin or a cavalier. So this is many things for you to think about. If you have ever did any role playing, go through those books and see what you can apply to yourself. And if you can go to a bookstore, these books now sell pretty cheap. And also, before I forget, I still look at role-playing games when I go to half-price books in Des Moines. And there are a lot of RPGs out there. For those of you that like to do like vampires and such, they actually have role-playing games based on a vampire world. Call of Cthulhu is another one where it's a lot of monsters. And so you can have a lot of various RPGs and kind of read up on them and kind of figure out your place. You can learn about yourself using these fantasy RPGs. So anyway, this video is getting on pretty long. Like I said, go through, if you have these books, kind of read through them again and do a self-assessment. Who are you and who do you want to be? Thank you. Take care. Be at peace.